All right. So I believe we're supposed to start. Are we supposed to go over this accountability thing? Is that
Oh, I did not know that.
I thought I was. I could be wrong, but let me double check.
I thought that was next week
You might be right, actually.
because we
Maybe.
still have that case study this week.
Yeah, we do have the case. Okay, this was the email that she talked about, like the difference between campus and online. Is that what it is?
Um, well, let me just look at the agenda for the group leader.
Yeah, I didn't put it in there, so I guess it might just be the status case study. But all right, that works.
There it is.
Um, so this is the Jamie Turner at MLI, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So kind of recap. It seems like Jamie graduated from um, how would you call it, with kind of like high opportunities and was having like pretty decent experiences, but he was job hopping quite a bit, which seemed to be a big concern for him. That's kind of how he
Mhm.
came to MLI. Um, I don't remember what his position is. Is he just like a
It's like
senior?
yeah, like VP marketing or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, VP marketing. You're right. And seems like he's having some issues here with his boss, Pat Cardulo. Um, my initial impression was this guy's kind of a jerk.
Which one is boss?
This Cardulo guy, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I guess that's kind of like we should talk maybe about the root problems we see here. What do you think are some of the root issues here?
Well, one thing that I felt bad for Turner was that I don't know, he came in with all these expectations, and I think everyone starts a new job hopeful that it's going to be great, and
Right.
he had no reason to believe otherwise, just because um, Cardullo was like, yeah, and in 12 to 18 months, I'll be looking to leave the like full management to someone here, and kind of like hinting at him, and it just kind of seems like through
Some
no fault of his own, like their entire relationship has um, gone bad, and he doesn't know why.
yeah, no, that's a good point. I think like it seems like he had this like he was getting all the right vibes you could possibly think of. Like
Yeah,
going to dinner with him and like and his communication with him, and you could tell like he was genuinely interested in his life and his career goals, and then even from when he got hired initially, it was like the way he talked about him so
yeah,
well. I mean, it was just like all the right things, and
yeah.
confirmed
Like when one of the other like VPs or something met him, he's like, "Oh, this is the savior" or something like that. Like Pardula
oh
was really talking him up.
yeah, the guy's like, oh, so you're the dude that can like walk on water or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I feel like the first red flag kind of came when he noticed that Cardulo was a kind of guy that either just loved people or he hated people. I don't know if
Or like same with like people to him though. Like
yeah,
people either liked him or hated him, I guess.
yeah, and so like and I wonder, you know, if that's kind of what panned out for him. But um, I guess how do we think that he got into this predicament to begin with?
Well, I mean, it's like you said at the beginning. Like this was his third job since he'd gotten his MBA, and um, I it seemed like, well, his previous company that he was with didn't like. Uh, I think they had to file for bankruptcy, if I remember correctly. And so I feel like that wasn't his fault. You know, he just kind of,
Right.
it just kind of happened, and then like, and then this one just seemed like such a good opportunity. So he, jumped on it, but um, I don't know. It's just kind of like it's hard to say
Yeah.
how exactly he ended up there. Like, well, it's not hard to say how he ended up there. It's just hard to say um, why things went bad for him.
Right. Right. That almost just seems kind of like the luck of the draw. Like he just like the jobs he happened to have didn't pan out, and there he was, kind of in this feeling of like he's job hopping. When I mean, it's not necessarily his intention.
Yeah,
And, and then so coming over to this new company here, like, um, I mean, off the bat, he's thinking he's making this great decision because of the vibes he's getting with Cardulo, and he's got, I feel like he's established this good relationship and this, cultivating this, and he's like, oh, I have this opportunity to develop and be promoted, and because he's
yeah,
kind of like dangling it there in his face, like, hey, I'm going to give this to you one day,
hmm
and, and so he's, yeah. So I mean, on that end, I think he made decisions with pretty good intentions there, and even his boss, I would think so as well. Um, but I found it was interesting, like some of the dynamics that he had. I mean, like for instance, he just absolutely loathed that one guy. What's his name? That
Oh, Kelly.
yeah, that guy. Like just from the get go, like hated him and tried to get rid of him or fire him or send him away so he didn't have to deal with him.
hmm But Turner was like, "Hey, this guy's a pretty good worker."
Right. and and yeah, so I just thought that was interesting.
I wonder if that was truly like what it was with Cardillo when Turner was like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep working with this Kelly guy," and Cardillo's like, "Well, I hate him, so I hate you too," or something.
Right. And yeah, I wonder that too. I mean, if there was some sort of spite behind that, like, oh, why don't you, support me and how much I don't like him.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. And yeah, and then it seemed like he kind of spiraled from when he had that disagreement. I can't remember the specifics, but there was like that point where Cardillo did not agree with something he did and kind of like subtly
He,
changed the decision, something
he
like
gave
that.
Yeah, he gave like Cardillo or Turner approved like a lower price point than Cardillo wanted, and I think they may have lost money on it or whatever, and that doesn't make him excited.
Right,
But then Cardillo completely changed the pricing scheme, and then they were like consistently losing money. So
right. Yeah, and then
it's
come to find out that it was the controller the whole time that was
oh
feeding.
I know.
It was like felt like it was like super deceptive, just very like
Well,
dramatic, like office stories and
yeah, and his employee Swenson, whatever her name was, like she tried to tell them like up front, hey, something's wrong with your pricing model, like there was something that was wrong, and they took it to the controller, and she was like, no, everything's fine. And so since she didn't take them seriously, they're like, well, we're gonna take it to Cardullo. And then my guess is, Cardullo approached the controller, and the controller's like, "What the crap, you guys?"
yeah,
I don't know. It's just all around kind of a hard situation. But I don't blame them for kind of going over her head because they thought that there was a legitimate problem and it wasn't being taken seriously.
right. Yeah, because this is, and then he had that like discussion, or he kind of had like that falling out with her at the end there, right?
Yeah,
Because he
yeah.
kind of,
Where he like marched into her office and threw her crumpled up her email and threw it away.
Like, I got your email.
Yeah, that could have been handled differently.
Right. It was like, wow, that was a moment of frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wonder sometimes how true these stories are, if they really are like that.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I could. So, do you feel like, I guess, I guess the skills that Cardulo and Turner initially brought to the situation set them up for success or failure?
I think Cardullo was lacking in like leadership skills. Like I really don't know how he got to where he did, but um I don't think he exemplified what a good leader was. And so it
Right.
also set Turner up to fail too. And then Turner's like, he comes on trusting um, that he can do a good job, but it felt like he was being set up to fail.
Right.
So, and like, I don't think that he was receiving all the support that he needed to do his job. Like, because in the beginning, he had a lot of um, kind of responsibility and a lot of say over, the pricing model and things like that. And then towards the end, Cardullo just started making those decisions unilaterally.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it seems like they both had good experiences in the past that could contribute to, this high level of success, especially considering that this company was somewhat struggling from what it appears.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think uh, it seems just like, kind of like you said. I mean, his management skills seem to just be very misguided, and almost like he's just seeking to be a boss rather than a manager,
Yeah.
and just to direct and order people to do things. Like he had that issue with the way the inventory was, or like he made them change it up.
Oh yeah, and like, and that just seemed like an ego thing, like because
Like he's
that didn't help at all.
yeah, the guy that sits there and works in the warehouse is saying like, well, I think he's giving valid reasons why he thinks it works this way, and he's just like,
Yeah,
well, basically, I don't like that. I want it my way.
yeah, which is it's ridiculous. Like, and that's pretty much all it was like, well, I don't like your way, so we're gonna do it this way, but like without any like evidence to back it up. Like this
Right,
is
because I said so.
like he's just the bully on the playground. Well, I'm gonna take my ball and go home.
Right. So yeah, I think. I mean, it's just like I think it takes two to tango, right? I mean, it's a
Yeah.
two situation, and like not to say that Turner was perfect in every sense. Like you could tell, as like the situation got worse and worse, he became
Mhm.
more flustered, more frustrated,
Yeah.
and like the whole email thing. I mean, like he was getting really irritated by that point,
Yeah,
and
that
it just
was not good.
right, and he's getting. I don't know. It almost seems like Cardullo is just like brushing it off. Like he wanted to even talk to him about it. He's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, goes into his office to talk about it. He's like, "Oh, everything's fine. Nothing to be overly concerned with." I was
which
like,
I feel bad because he's trying to receive feedback. He's trying to smooth things over because he wants to do a good job, and then he just brushes them off.
right. And then I guess like the culminating issue here is the CEO's coming to town, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it looks Alan Oliver is his name, right? So he's because he's hearing of all the problems that are happening, so he's coming to find out what's going on.
Yeah,
Um, so I don't know. That's what I wish they kind of told us what actually happened. They don't tell us anything,
they
but
just left it.
they just leave it hanging. Like, they don't even have anything in the agenda. But
Oh wow.
that would be interesting to know what actually happened. But um, yeah, because it sounds like I mean, that's kind of the culminating point here. Turner's trying to say, okay, well, maybe I should take one last time to try to work some of these communication issues out, and before the CEO gets here, and you have to talk with him. And
Yeah. So
yeah,
what
so
did
I
you
mean,
say in in your write-up, how, like, what did you recommend him to do?
Let's see. So for me, I think I said that I think it wouldn't hurt to try again, of course. I mean, like he's coming in the morning, and so like it wouldn't be a bad idea to approach him. And it seems like some of the more recent experiences he's having with Cardulo seem to be somewhat better. I mean,
Yeah.
if you could say that, I guess. But
Mhm.
and so maybe there's this hope that he can somehow get a level-headed boss to communicate with them and find out maybe some of the issues here. Um, but I think if my take was if he was responding just as negatively and just as passively about it as he was before, then it would do him absolutely no good. And at that point, he would just have to maybe communicate with the CEO some of the issues he's feeling and how they can resolve it. Um, and I know one of the biggest issues he's worrying about is, like, should he quit or should he not quit, right? I mean, how long should he stick around and deal with that? And so, I mean, and my take was if he had to continue to live in that kind of, or work rather, in that type of environment and to never, receive any sort of progression after all your effort, I mean, you can only do that for so long,
Yeah.
regardless of how much you might feel other people will look at the moving around negatively. I mean, at a certain point, I mean, push comes to shove. And so, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. That's pretty much, I mean, like I said, yeah, try it one more time, and if nothing comes from it, like I said, he should just quit because I don't think he's going to be successful there, and I don't think he has the support to be successful. And yeah, I mean, if it were me, I would just be like, you know what, I'm done. And I think it would be kind of easy to explain, why he's had so many jobs on his resume. Like,
yeah,
obviously it's not ideal, but I think if he, explained it to any future employer, they'd be understanding of it.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think I mean, as much as like I think employees can, be advocates of healthy communication and like greater efficiency in a workplace. I mean, at a certain level, something has to start from management. I mean, like they
Yeah,
have to somehow set some sort of tone here where, certain things are acceptable and certain things are not. And if he's, fighting tooth and nail to make that happen, and the guy who's in charge here above him who has the power to change things doesn't care, I mean, he's not going to go anywhere.
right.
So yeah, um yeah, I mean, that's kind of about it though. I mean, if you have any more comments about the case.
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, it's pretty, other than that, it's pretty straightforward.
Awesome.
So, well, yeah, that's about it.
Okay. I think yeah, so I think it's next week we'll go over our accountability projects, and then I'm happy to send that link out.
All right, that
But
sounds good.
I actually don't think we have to record it or anything. We just have to have the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Cool. All right.
Well,
Well, have a good week and good luck with your test.
yeah, thanks. You too.
Okay, we'll see you.
Do it.